Welcome back, everyone. Things get hella weirder, more weird for Chase. But yeah, subscribe, like, comment, share to friends and loved ones. And my god, this game is gonna mind fuck me right now. It looks like an old lunchbox. I shine a light on it and can barely make out what looks like a cartoon dragon. I open it and pull out the note. I read it. In a fit of rage, I tear the stupid thing in half, throwing it on the ground. You fucker! I hiss it out through my teeth. Then what was in the fucking note, man? Peace out. I write for a moment using the old lunchbox as a flat surface. When I'm done, I drop into the box, then wedge the box into the crevice, covering it up with loose dirt I'd move. I pack it down, then stand back up. Thinking twice, I pick up the shredded note and stuff it into my pocket. Then I walk back up the shore and up the trail, ignoring what looks like the eye shine of tarantulas all around me. Maybe it's just the stars. Now, when I look at it, the stars do look a bit weird. I don't remember much of the drive back or the parking lot of the motel. The next thing I know, I'm standing next to the bed, glaring down at TJ, watching him sleep. Okay, that's fucking creepy. What's happening? Oh. Saturdays, am I right? We arrive at the lake at about 10 in the morning. Julian had driven down over an hour ago to pick us up before driving to Carl's house. Carl wasn't ready when we got there, and when he answered the door, his eyes were bleary and red. It took him a good 20 minutes to get ready, and all the while I struggle not to glare. And this Chase is weird, man. He's been glaring throughout from yesterday and up to now. It's weird. I've been friends with the Ram for almost my entire life, and it's only now that I'm feeling real disgust for the person that he is. So many self-created problems. He keeps his head down most of the time so he doesn't see me. He's still feeling sick too, so he opts to ride in the truck bed on the way down, and Jenna sits with him. I can't help but wonder what might happen if we have an accident. What is wrong? This guy's alright. Alright. Chase, you gotta calm down, my man. You gotta absolutely mother-loving calm down. Jeez. Take a fucking chill. Somebody give this man drugs. Maybe it might chill him. Give him some Zaza, you know? TJ sits next to me, and this time I'm sure to sit in the middle so that Julian is on my left and TJ... What? This guy's freaking me out. It feels better this way. As the lake comes into view, I rest a paw on TJ's knee. He glances at me, then nods in acknowledgement. I give his thigh a squeeze, then wait as we pull into the parking lot, going over the scenarios in my head for what might happen. Well, here we are. We don't say anything in response as we quietly get out of the truck. Jenna jumps out of the truck bed easily, but Carl struggles and I imagine him falling straight out and face planting to the asphalt. Jeez! Chase started from I'm a chill guy to I hate everyone in this fucking town, especially people I know. That's crazy. Jenna helps him though, and then we're all walking down the trail toward the lake, single file. I walk right behind TJ though, so I can keep an eye on him and anyone else that might try to fuck with him. Okay, that's a weird thing. Wow, it's been 12 years since I've been down here. Yeah. There's a cool freshness of the air by the lake. I breathe it in and get hit with a sweet memories of spending entire days down here. Swimming in the lake, building sandcastles, poking at dead fish on the beach. As we start walking the beach and approach a big boulder, I feel my heart start to hammer in my chest. I pick up my speed to catch up to TJ. How are you feeling? If I was there, let's say I know what's happening and I got my first Sona, whatever. I'm not a furry, by the way. My character, whatever. I'd be like, Chase, you better back the fuck up, man. You better be there like 10 meters down the road. You know what I'm saying? You don't sound okay. I don't. This is creeping the fuck out. I'm playing as Chase. This is weird. I'm nervous. TJ, I'm nervous as well. This man ain't right. Chase ain't right. He's getting all freaky here. We all are. I actually feel like I'm gonna throw up. Heh heh. What? TJ suddenly reaches out his paw and holds mine. I'm surprised. TJ's never done this before, and though I know it's probably due to the situation we're in, it still makes me feel warm. Get your fucking mind out of the gutter. It's going to be okay. I know it. This is going to be the end. TJ's voice breaks up on the last word. The end? The end of what, exactly? TJ's guilt over Sydney? The mystery over what exactly happened to him? Of the world as we know it? Yeah, that's probably it. Because I know that after this morning, things are never going to be the same again. Just remember that if it's buried by that boulder, it's probably gone by now. I know I've said that every time before, but the lake has flooded a few times since. I look up at the steep, rocky bank on our right. Remember that spring that it went all the way up to the road? Yeah. I look back at our friends. Jenna's walking side by side with Carl, talking to him in a low voice. Julian is ahead of them and is looking directly at me. I look away. I'm just saying that even if it's there, it's probably water damage to the point that we won't be able to read it. TJ stays silent just as we come up on the rock, sitting there on the beach like it has since I can remember. Probably like it has since before the lake was even created. TJ still holds my paw as Julian, Jenna, and Carl stand next to us. The five of us in a sort of semicircle around the boulder. Well, here we are. Julian says the exact same thing he said in the parking lot, and I feel myself starting to get, oh my god, this guy is weird. This Chase man. Can we call the cops on him? I'm sorry, he's getting weird. At first, it was like kind of sussy, but now it's like maybe we should handcuff Chase and literally tie him with a fucking rope. But I cling to TJ's paw, and that calms me down a little. So if it's still here, it could be anywhere. Knowing Sydney, Jenna says his name carefully. It'd probably leave a marker of some kind. This one could be hard to find. Remember that he said it's by Carl's drawing, and it'd probably be right next to that. I don't know, guys. The other ones were inside of something. This is just out on the beach. The sand's changing all the time. Carl digs at the damp sand with a hoof, his paws shoved into his pockets, eyes downcast. Everything okay, Carl? Jesus, this guy's He looks up at me a bit surprised. Huh? Yeah, I'm okay. I just feel sicker from the ride down. Smoke too much? Carl frowns. No, I just get sick sometimes when I'm stressed out. The weed makes me feel less sick, actually. I stop myself from asking what it is he's so stressed out about. Are you okay, Chase? I'm good. I shouldn't be drawing attention. Yeah, man, you're creeping me the fuck out as well. Meanwhile, Julian is walking around the boulder looking for the drawing. TJ lets go of my paw finally and starts to walk around the boulder from the other side. Almost immediately, he points excitedly. Oh, Carl, you're drawing! Carl sidles up to him before chuckling quietly. Oh, yeah. For some reason, I thought it'd be gone by now. Why would it be? You chipped into the rock. Didn't you spend like a month doing that? Carl looks down on his paws. Huh, yeah. Fucked my paws up doing it too. I moved around to stand next to them and see the rough outline of a muscular wolf with a long cape. Super Wolf. Carl had been obsessed with that superhero since the new movie was coming out that summer. I don't think he liked it very much because right after he saw it, he stopped working on the etching. It's actually pretty good, especially when you consider that Carl was like 9 when he did it. Carl should make a fucking comic book, honestly speaking. I think he'd be good at that. Draw something. I pushed those memories out of my head, wiping out the smiling, childhood face of Carl from my mind. Then I still myself, preparing for what I'm going to say and for what's about to happen. Hey, look at the sand under. This guy is so. Everyone looks down in unison at where I'm pointing my finger. I don't like where this is going. Get me out of here. This is making me sick. I let it sink in for a moment before I say it. The dirt looks like someone dug it up recently. No one says anything. Or maybe the sand's just weathered there. I don't know. TJ kneels down next to the boulder, reaching out a paw to steady himself against it as Julian kneels down across from him. He reaches out with the other paw, poking at the loose-looking dirt slightly darker than the sand around it. Still, no one says anything, and I decide not to push it further. knowing that I've already planted the seed of doubt in TJ's mind. This guy is fucking diabolical, mate. Oi, 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 Huey. Homelander took my bloody wife. Womp womp. We should have grabbed the garden shovel from your house, car. Yeah. I picked up the flat rock I used last night. Here. That's sussy. That's so sussy. Hey guys, look at this thing. Somebody might have fucking it's like somebody dug down there, you know? Also, here's a rock. It's good for digging. He looks at it for a second before digging the sharp end of the dirt. It sinks in deep and easily before the stag turns out to sand. Less than a minute later, TJ gasps and reaches the shallow hole, pulling out the lunchbox. Now that there's daylight, I can see the chipped green paint on the dragon. TJ holds it for a moment, staring down at it. Julian looks around at us. Was that Sydney's? I can't remember, but TJ nods and with shaky hands unlatches the metal. Why can't he remember? Chase is losing his fucking mind, man. What does it mean he can't remember? This is literally happening right in front of him. Carl stands further back than the rest of us, motionless. Jenna once again has a paw up to her mouth, not saying anything. TJ opens the lid. The hinges squeak a little as the tin lid flops open, revealing my note. Paw is still shaking, TJ reaches in. At this point, there's little hesitation in TJ's movements. He's eager to find out what it says, eager to get this done. TJ unfolds the note, then reads it. He doesn't read it aloud, instead letting his eyes go back and forth over the page while the rest of us wait. I know at this point that he's finished reading it, but he still doesn't say anything. Cause my man, what the TJ? TJ doesn't say anything, continuing to stare. TJ, what does it say? TJ sits there for a few more seconds before he wordlessly holds out the note to no one in particular. His face is blank for the most part, but I can see the shock in his eyes. Julian takes it from him and starts reading. You reached the end, but I don't have the answer, so I'll ask again. TJ, what happened to Sydney? The silence that follows is one of the heaviest that I've ever experienced. Chase, you are a piece of shit, my man. Chase is one piece of work. Holy shit. That's awful. But now I was looking up Julian. Jenna's moved her paw from her mouth at this point, but she's clutching her necklace, her eyes on TJ. Julian is just staring at the links, waiting, probably unsure what any of this means. Does Chase not know? What if fucking TJ points at him? You know, it's like, oh, what does it mean? I've had it. I'm gonna say with the truth. You know, Chase, you've been sussy because you did something, or I don't know. I don't know what to speculate. But clearly, the man's guilty. I'm now actually connecting the dots when I think about it, but I don't wanna. I might be wrong. Meanwhile, he stares at the hole that we dug up, ears drooping. I start walking over to him. What does it mean? Do you guys know? I rest a paw on TJ's shoulder, touching it softly. He doesn't move. This is disgusting. Oh my god. If someone I'm like, Chase, don't fucking touch me, bro. Brother. Slowly wrapping an arm around his shoulders, drawing him in. I can feel him trembling. Guys? I look over at Julian with a sad look on my face. We have a friend who has a grudge about this whole thing. I think he might have been the one leaving the notes. TJ shakes his head against me, but doesn't say anything. Julian stares. But why? I shrug, beginning to oh my god, Chase, you're absolutely so sussy right now. You gotta stop. Alright, that's it. I don't know. Maybe he thought that this was his last chance to hurt me. Oh my god. Alright, now we're just throwing the blame, huh? My man, you're suspicious as fuck. Why would he say this? Chase has been the kind of guy that's in the neutral ground, but now he's all like, I'ma point fucking fingers. Jen and Carl have walked up to stand next to us and both seem to be at a loss for words. The paper is different though. TJ's voice is distant and faint, muffled against my chest. There are ways to make paper look old. Maybe he just didn't have time with this one. Julian shakes his head. Listen, I know I've only been a part of this for a day, but this is crazy, and those are a lot of assumptions. Do you really know what happened? If you knew this friend of ours like we do, you'd understand how obvious this is. But then Jenna shakes her head as well. No, Flynn wouldn't do this. He's a jerk, but he wouldn't do this. You know that Flynn... Oh, Chase is... You know that Flynn's been sending TJ threatening texts all week, and that he's been out to fuck with TJ since we got here. Jenna shakes her head again, but doesn't say anything. He wouldn't. I snapped my gaze at Carl, glaring. Dude, even at his worst, he'd never do something like this. It's too fucked up. All of that work just to fuck with us, and it has to do with Sydney? No. I was gonna say as well, I don't think Flynn would do this, man. The guy's really feels like he was the most hurt with Sydney dying. He was the most close with the guy. Why would he do this? It's like fucking throwing shade towards the dead boy. And who found the first note? Who's been Flint's best friend since we all left? Oh, whoa, Chase. Chase be chasing assumptions, huh? Carl's eyes go wide. TJ finally lifts his head, looking up at Carl. You're the one that gave it to us, set us off on this whole bullshit scavenger hunt. Carl takes a step back, mouth hanging open. My mouth be fucking gawking right now. I'm like, what? Looking at me like I'm sort of alien or something. This entire thing was fucking crazy from the start. Our dead friend who left notes behind a decade ago and somehow it's all still here? In the old school? In that house? Fuck that. Chase, stop it. Jenna's voice is soft and distant, lacking any sort of authority. I stand up suddenly, staring the ram down. Oh, how? No. Carl takes another step back. Don't do this to my boy, Carl. He's just been chilling, man. He's been fucking chilling the whole fucking game. And I can see his chest heaving. He can't even get his words out. It's like he's just run a marathon and can't catch his breath. Huh? I don't... Carl clutches his chest and I can't help but notice how fucking guilty he looks right now. He suddenly retches and gags loudly. Carl, breathe! No, you can't use your fucking anxiety. I make air quotes. You monster. As a shield right now, did Flynn put you up to this? Jesus, Chase is evil! This is the guy that's... It kind of was hinted with the flashback. He was starting fucking rumors for no reason. I kind of gave him an excuse for that one because he was a child, he was a kid, he was just throwing out whatever he heard from the adults. Carl retches again and doubles over, spitting on the ground. Carl! Jenna starts walking towards the ram, but at that moment something rushes past me, then past Jenna. I have a moment to see TJ's back. His tufted ears are laid flat against his head, like he's moved so fast that the wind has pushed him back. It's another quick movement that I can't quite see from my angle. But then Carl is stumbling back, a paw up to his face, letting out gas like he'd been holding his breath for 10 minutes. I lunge forward, reaching out for TJ as the cat goes in for another swipe. Carl jumps back towards the embankment, and as he does, he lands on the many rocks that separate the beach from the road. I grab the back of TJ's shirt just as I see Carl's hoof disappear between rocks. Then Carl falls back. There's a sound like a thick branch snapping in two, cutting through the air like a gunshot. Immediately, Carl lets out the most hideous scream I've ever heard the ram make. No! Chase, this is your fault, man. This is absolutely your fault. This is... you can't even say it's Party's blame. Alright. Jenna runs past us, followed by Julian at a more even jog. Meanwhile, I hold on to TJ, the link still going after Carl, making a yowling sound as his claws swipe at the air, baring his teeth. He's wild, feral, not thinking at all. TJ, stop! I'm here! Ew! I try talking to the lynx's ear at the same time I feel him start to go limp in my grasp. The energy and rage slowly going out of him. I finally feel safe enough to turn him around, pulling him into a hug. It's okay. You got him. You're fine. What? Is he... Chase? Oh my god. TJ suddenly turns his face to my chest and starts to cry. Jesus, his ankle. Carl, can you move, Ken? But Carl isn't listening, continuing to scream and hyperventilating at the same time. Call an ambulance. I don't know who she's talking to, but Julian pulls out his phone. TJ continues to sob into my chest and I start to move away, toward the trail, pulling TJ with me. I'm taking TJ back to the motel. Yes, leave, please. Yeah, get Chase out of here, man. Get him out. Somebody fucking... Hi, we need... Yeah, someone trip, broke his leg, now we can't get up. Carl, I know it hurts, but you need to breathe. I'm going to count. This is Chase's fault. I can't... This is sick. Are we sure we want him leaving? This Mr. Freaky over here living with someone who he wants to fuck or something? This is weird, man. TJ finally pulls away from me when we reach the parking lot and starts walking ahead, hugging himself. I follow behind him at a close distance, listening to him sob for a while. And it isn't until we reach the road that he's finally calmed down enough to stop sobbing. I walk quietly behind him for a little bit longer before finally catching up, walking next to him. He doesn't say anything and goes on hugging himself, hiccuping softly every once in a while. I wonder if I should say anything, ask him about what happened, or even change the subject completely. Eventually, though, he's the one to speak first. I. Uh, I didn't mean to. He cuts off as he goes into a coughing fit. I rub him on the back. I don't want this man touching TJ. I'm sorry. Protect this kid at all costs. It's okay, you don't have to explain yourself after what he did. Do you think? TJ takes a deep breath, finally setting his words. Do you think he really did that? I let the silence drag out a moment before finally replying. Who else could it have been? I completely understand why you went along with all of those notes, but in the end, this was the only realistic conclusion we were going to get to. Yeah, I just didn't think they'd do something like this, especially Carl. You know what? I think this guy gaslighted TJ since they were kids. Like, we're friends, we're best friends. To the point that, in a weird way, TJ or Tobias over here feels like comfortable with Chase a little bit compared to the others. I still don't know if he did it, but then I remembered what he said when we played Spin the Bottle. I felt like it had to be him. I was just so angry. I've never been so angry in my life. It was scary. I mean, maybe Flynn didn't tell him everything about what was going on. I guess he could have been tricked into thinking Flynn somehow had good intentions in all of this. I don't know. His leg. TJ covers his face like he's about to start crying again. I quickly put my arm around him and hold him close. Hey, this isn't your fault. Honestly, he deserved that scratch you gave him. He fell on his... Oh my... You're fucking disgusting. TJ shakes his head. I can't even remember what happened. I just started running at him like I wasn't in control. It was like it was all automatic or something. Him too? TJ. I stopped the links and turned him toward me, even though he keeps covering up his face. This is not your fault. What Flynn and Carl did to you is absolutely disgusting. And honestly, I'm amazed that you were able to hold yourself back as much. This guy is a gas manipulator, lighter, top notch. But the sounds he was making, it sounded so awful. Well, a man getting his ankle snapped in half? Yeah, those screams would be horrifying. I hugged him again? No, he only had a taste of the pain you're feeling on the inside. Now stop thinking about him and it's over. This whole thing is over. He just starts crying softly again and I hold him closer, letting him get it out of his system. This guy. We should have called the cops. Over his shoulder, I can see the ambulance lights flashing, though they don't have the siren on. I'm thankful for that at least. My phone buzzes in my pocket a few times, but I ignore it, waiting until the Lynx's soft sobs taper out. I turn him away from the lake so he doesn't see the lights, and we keep walking slowly up the road. Less than a mile away, the motel sign glints in the sunlight. TJ shuffles along, continuing his quiet snuffling. Did you want to leave today? I don't know. Maybe. Well, let's get back to the motel and sit down for a while, okay? Then we can decide what we want to do. Okay. TJ's breathing evens out again as we get closer to the motel. But why do you think Flynn would do that? It doesn't make any sense. I shrug. Well, like I said yesterday, I think now that he knows he isn't going to get the answers he wants, he's just out to hurt us now. That's it, really. You were right. I guess I just didn't think he could be capable of that. I mean, you always see the best in people. There's nothing wrong with that. TJ doesn't respond, and we're silent. TJ, get the fuck out of there, man. Get out of there. I don't like him and Chase just alone. The first thing TJ does when he gets inside is lay on the bed and stare at the ceiling. I check my text and see that they're all from Jenna. They say Carl just broke his ankle and that he's going to be fine. Julian is driving me to the hospital so we can sit with Carl and bring him back when they're done. By the way, when they asked Carl what happened, he said he just slipped on a rock and fell. He said that's where the scratch came from too. I assume he doesn't want us to tell anyone about what happened. You should think about checking out early. I'm probably going to a friend's house in Peyton after this. I stare at the last text, wondering what exactly it means. She's going to a friend's house and that's just it? Almost sounds like she's just done with us. I guess one good thing came out of this then. This guy's evil. Carl's going to be fine. He told the paramedics that he slipped on a rock, so I don't think he's going to be like pressing charges or anything. TJ covers his face and I hope he isn't about to cry again, but when he starts talking, his voice is steady and even. I'm going to have to see him before we leave. I don't want to leave this town like this. He sounds defeated, like he knows things are now ruined beyond any sort of... Oh, I don't know, Chase. What? My man escalated things. Jesus, this guy's batshit insane. I get up and drape myself over the bed next to TJ. He looks up in surprise, ears perked and twitching, his stuffs waving around the most adorable way. Alright. I don't like reading what Chase's mind is like thinking. Listen, I know we can't just forget what happened back there, and I know we can't just fix everything, but I pause and wait until TJ looks up at me. I want to spend the rest of this weekend together and just have fun. There's not really much else we can do. Nah. But what about your project? I laugh. Dude, that doesn't matter anymore. I'll just retake the class over the summer or something. That doesn't sound good. I don't want to cause you to faint. You're not. I'm making this decision. TJ continues to stare at the ceiling, his eyes glistening with unshed tears. I don't know. Doesn't feel right. I just broke Carl's leg. Carl fell and broke his leg. This gaslight. No, I did it. Things are so messed up now. His voice starts to go up high again, and I quickly put upon his shoulder. Shh. We can't think about that anymore. It's over. I rub his shoulder comfortingly. You know what? Let's go to Baton, get out of this crappy town and do something, okay? TJ lets out a shuddery sigh. Maybe I just need a minute. Okay. I roll over and look out the window through the blinds, feeling like I've accomplished something. Things went a little further than what I'd planned on, but it's working out. Jesus, man, this guy's evil. My main issue now is figuring out what the hell Flynn and Carl were planning with all of that bullshit, and what all they know. Assuming it had been them and all, but as of right now, I can't imagine who else it could have been. I feel a little guilty about what happened to Carl, but I had to show everyone how stupid and crazy the whole thing was. And just then, I see Flynn's truck roll into the parking lot. I tense up, staring in disbelief. What the hell reason would he have to come here? I'm only frozen up for a moment before I suddenly swing my legs off the bed. I don't know if TJ's looking. I hope not. Wait, I hope not as I start closing the blinds. I'll close these so the sun isn't shining in your eyes, and I'm gonna make a call to Jenna to make sure things are going alright, okay? I look back and I'm relieved to see TJ only now looking over at me. Okay. Tell her I'm sorry. I will. Now get some rest. I try not to look like I'm in a hurry, so as I go to the door and open it just wide enough for me to slide out. Flynn's truck pulls into a parking space about 20 feet away and I jog over to him before he can get out. Hey! I say just as he opens his door. He looks at me coldly for a moment before getting out and slamming the door shut. Hey. We stand there awkwardly for a full 10 seconds, but Flynn doesn't say anything. You need something? Why do you think I'm here, Chase? I shrug. I have no idea, Flynn. This guy's diabolical. Flynn stares at me for a few more seconds as he chews at a toothpick in his mouth. You were down by the lake. That's a really weird thing to assume, Flynn. Flynn scoffs. Don't play with me. I see ambulance lights over by the lake, and 10 minutes later, I get a text from Carl telling me he hurt his leg. Really, Flynn? People go down by the lake all the time. It could have been anyone. No one goes down by the lake. I know you've been sneaking around the town doing shady shit with Tej and Jen. I keep on a straight face, refusing to crack under Flynn's pressure. The only reason why I didn't ask you what the fuck you were doing is because I know you all hate me right now. But if we really went down there together, that's fucked. Why is that fucked, Flynn? Because you decided it's off limits for everyone else because it makes you feel bad? Fuck off. Flynn's eyes widen for a moment. Do not fuck with me on this, Chase. You know that's the last thing I ever want to hear from you. It's strange how I feel right now. Normally I'd be trying to calm the lizard, try to talk him through his temper and past trauma, but now I don't care. Just like with Carl, I don't care how far this goes. This is his fault in the end. I can't believe you, Flynn. You started this whole thing, now you try to act like the victim? It's fucking disgusting. Flynn gives me a baffled look. What are you talking about? You mean what I said by the river? Actually, yeah, that was probably the start of it. How does that lead to you assholes fucking around by the lake? You know exactly how. I watch Flynn carefully, trying to see if I can sense anything in his demeanor, in his expressions. I've never really known him to lie, but if he's lying right now, then he's fucking amazing at it because all I can sense is bewilderment. He must have a lot of experience with lying. Chase, what the fuck is up with you right now? What do you mean? You're acting like an ass. Oh, so now you know how we all feel when you talk to us. Flynn stares at me, studying me, then he looks up. Who's here? No one. The fuck? Where's TJ and Jenna? Not here. Flynn glances down at me. Well, I gotta take a piss, or can I come in? No. Really sussy, Chase. Finally, Flynn pushes past me. Well, I'm gonna give the door a knock to see if anyone's there. Maybe you missed them. I whirl around and follow him angrily. He doesn't want to talk to you. Flynn turns on me. Oh, so TJ's here then. Why didn't you tell me that? Why do you think, Flynn? You need to leave right now. Flynn glares down at me. I know you guys are up to something having to do with Cindy. If that's the case, then I have every right to know. Flynn starts walking again. And he has every right to talk to me himself. I dart around Flynn and stand in front of the lizard, glaring up at him, bracing myself once again. Get out of my way, Chase. Leave him alone. Flynn pauses. All I want to do is talk, that's it. I let out a mirthless laugh. After what you did at the river, hell no. Alright. I grab his arm. He swings. Alright, they're fighting, everyone. They're fucking fighting. They're fucking fighting. Leave. I'd be yelling right now, but I don't want TJ to hear us through the thin motel walls. Don't fucking touch me and get out of my fucking way. He tries again, and this time I grab his arm and yank him away, swinging him like Leo did at the river. He might be tall, but I'm kind of amazed at how easily I can manipulate Flynn's body like a mannequin. Either that or I just don't know my own strength. Flynn rolls with a curse and immediately pops back up, taking an awkward swing at my head. Fucking little prick! I duck his punch and tackle him around the waist, knocking us both to the asphalt as Flynn grunts loudly. Nah, I think Flynn's just holding back. He's just letting Chase do whatever. I scramble on top of the lizard and sit on his chest, spinning his arms under my knees. Again, he can barely move under me. Weak? I snarl down at him, raising a fist. Flynn flinches, closing his eyes and turning his head away. I pause, letting the tension build. This guy is a bully. I keep forgetting. He's actually a bully. Leave, Flynn, otherwise I'm gonna cave your fucking face in. I'm tired of you bullying TJ and taking out all your problems and the rest of us and just being a miserable piece of shit all your life. I keep my voice low, almost growling like a canine. Flynn cracks open an eye, looking up at me in fear. I fucking hate you, I always have, and you deserve to have every single one of your fucking teeth knocked out for the way you've always treated us. I look back towards the door, but it's closed, quiet. I look back down at Flynn. Leave, and I never want to see your ugly fucking face ever again. Understand? I don't really know. Flynn just stares up at me. I can see the fear still, and maybe even a little hurt. What happened, Chase? I don't say anything. I know he isn't going to fight anymore. I get up, and Flynn lays there for a moment, staring at me. Finally, he rolls over and gets to his feet unsteadily. Then, without a word, gets back in his truck and starts it up. I turn away finally, hearing the lizard pull out of the parking lot as I open the door to the motel. I'm relieved to see TJ sitting on the bed, looking down at his phone. I was positive that he'd heard something. He looks up when he hears the door open. Hey, Tej. What did you say? Carl is good, the doctors are checking him out. She said you're fine and that she understands why you did it, but I guess she's a little stressed out too because she's going to a friend's house in Peyton. Oh, TJ's ears lower. I think she just wants to give you space. Maybe. I did get a text from Julian. Oh, really? There's that twinge of oh my god. I don't want to play as Chase anymore. This is horrible. We're playing as a horrible person. Or we're in his perspective. Yeah, I said he was gonna stop by after he drops off Carl. I was thinking we could wait until then before we leave. Dr. Julian at least. I don't think Carl wants to see me. Okay. I try not to let the anger creep into my voice as I sit down in the bed next to the lynx. And Chase? Yeah? TJ smiles at me through his puffy eyes and matted cheek fur. Thank you for being there for me. It means a lot. I can just imagine Chase has that devious fucking smirk, a tooty fucking grin, mate. It's late afternoon by the time Julian arrives to pick us up from the motel. Things are predictably awkward at first as the stag drives us out of the town in silence. I'm just happy that I've managed to sit between. Oh my god, I'm not reading that. I watch Julian as his thumbs tap idly the steering wheel before he suddenly sits up straight. Oh, Chase, you left your camera in the truck bed yesterday. I forgot to tell you. He glances over at me and I nod. Oh yeah, probably should have remembered that. Do you want me to pull over so you can grab it out? I don't know how you feel about it sliding around back there while we're on the highway. I shrug. Should be fine. It's probably been through worse considering it's a crap rental from the university. Ah. Julian starts tapping away at the steering wheel again. So, your friend. Seems okay. He'll need to rest for a few months to recover, but he didn't seem too worried about that. I snort. Of course not. Yeah. Anyway, what was it you guys wanted to do? Julian leans forward a bit to glance at TJ. I just wish he'd keep his fucking eyes on the road. I nudge the links and he snaps his gaze from the window to look at us. Huh? I was asking what you wanted to do tonight, TJ. Oh, I'm not really sure. We could go see a movie, maybe. Anything out that you wanted to see? Not really. You know, I used to do this thing where I'd get a random ticket to a movie I'd never heard of before. I'd have no expectations, so usually I'd be pleasantly surprised. Oh, that sounds kind of fun, as long as it's not R-rated. Yeah, so the way I do, why don't we go to the family plex? Guy's weird guy. I'm sorry, everyone. Chase is just a little bit... Yeah, what the... Yeah, you remember that place, right? We'd go there as kids for birthdays and stuff. The old rundown arcade thing at the mall? Yeah. TJ seems to perk up a bit. I haven't been there for like 10 years. That could be a lot of fun. If it's still open, I haven't been to that corner of the mall in a long time. It is. Well, alright then. So should we go there? Next to me. Yeah, let's do that. The family plex is basic as I remember it. Like TJ had said, a good decade had passed since we'd been here, maybe more. But the ugly stained carpet and sickly colored walls still cover the place. A real relic of the 80s and 90s. Still, I'm happy to see TJ smile as we walk in. His adorably wide eyes scanning the place as I'm sure he see it with that same sense of nostalgia. Oh my gosh, everything's exactly the same! The look on Julian's face is slightly less enthusiastic. Even smells the same. I kinda like it, actually. Reminds me of a movie theater. Same. It's really just a popcorn and recycled air from the AC. I realized then what a fucking stick in the mud Julian is, but I ignore him, instead following TJ as we make our way to the machines. Luckily, the place is mostly empty. There's a group of teenagers being loud and annoying over by the air hockey tables, but otherwise we have the place to ourselves. For a moment we just stand there, but then Julian reaches into his pocket. So, you guys want to chip in some money and I can go get us a few rolls or quarters? I take out a 5 and so does Julian while TJ hands over 10. Wow, TJ, that's a lot. Hey, I only have 10s. Besides, we'll go through them fast. We always do. Julian walks up to the front counter while TJ and I wait awkwardly next to the skee ball ramp. I feel like things wouldn't be so tense if Julian wasn't here, and I feel myself getting progressively annoyed by his presence. My man, your friend doesn't swing that way, so... I'm about to ask TJ how he's feeling when Julian comes back with 2 rolls of quarters. So, we have 2 rolls. You want me to count out your shares or... I shake my head. Doesn't matter. Yeah, we're just here to hang out anyway. TJ takes one of the rolls and tears off one end. You guys want a skee ball? Sure! You know I've always been pretty good with this game. Alright, let's see. I thought I was gonna say something out of pocket against Julian again. There are only 2, and I kinda hope that Julian might just wander away, but he stays right there behind TJ, watching. I sigh and insert my coin, watching the little balls roll out into the little compartment. Meanwhile, TJ is having a terrible time, each one of his balls rolling into the scoreless gutter. I roll my first ball and watch as it misses the 40 and rolls into the 10 gutter. Aw, don't worry about it, Tej. Want me to show you how? Julian moves next to me and I grit my teeth in annoyance, moving over a bit. The stag flicks the ball expertly down the ramp and it lands squarely in the 40. Wow! On your first try too! Honestly, I'm out of practice, but usually I go for the hundreds in the corner. How do you do it? Well, Julian grabs a hold of TJ's wrist and I feel my fur starting to stand up on my neck and shoulders. It's all in the wrist, baby. He moves TJ's arms forward before bending the Lynx's wrist. Oh, I see. TJ tries again. This time gets a 10, but on his second try, he lands it in the 50. Nice! Julian holds up his paw and TJ slaps it loudly. The stag laughs and looks over at me. You alright, Chase? Still got 4 balls. Without a word, I turn back to my machine and huck the balls down the ramp, each one landing in the gutter. Meanwhile, I listen to Julian and TJ celebrate another 50. For the rest of the night, I followed TJ and Julian around, the stag showing the cat how best to play the games. All the while I stand next to them, dumping my quarters into games I don't even finish. I just want us to run out so we can leave. Jeez, man, this guy's a party fucking pooper. My god. The drive back is quite intense. TJ and Julian asked me multiple times at Family Plex if I was alright, until I finally told them I just had a headache. That stopped their questioning for the most part, and luckily that prompted TJ to propose we just go back to the motel. I tense up again when he offers Julian to spend the night there, but luckily the stag declines, wanting to go back home to his own bed. As we drive, I notice TJ nodding off, his head bumping the glass of his window. You can lean against me, Tej. TJ's ears flick, flushing a bit. Oh, really? I mean, I don't wanna... As an answer, I reach over to clasp the side of TJ's face before I force the Lynx's head to lean sideways, against my shoulder. TJ stiffens up, but then he relaxes, and 5 minutes later, I can tell that he's fallen into light sleep. Alright, Julian glances over at us occasionally but doesn't say anything. I lean my cheek against the top of TJ's head. I realize how good it feels to sort of envelop him like this. It feels like I'm protecting him. All those bad, tense feelings from the arcade start to melt away. Pretty soon I start to drift off as well, the smooth drone of the highway lulling me to sleep. I open my eyes and see the back of a rusty white sedan pulled off on the side of the road. Julian's pulling off as well behind the car. The sun's already getting low in the sky. The sun's already getting low in the sky. A little bit of cloud cover rolling in from the west. That's when I realize there's a large coyote standing next to the car, leaning over and looking at the front left wheel. She stands up when our headlights hit her, and she shields her eyes against the light. Janice. Julian shuts his headlights off. Looks like she's got a flat. TJ wakes up and I'm a bit disappointed to feel him shift off of my shoulder. What's going on? Julian's already hopping out of the car and walking up to the now grinning Janice as she sets her paws on her hips. Well, now what are you doing out here, Julie? I can hear her loud, obnoxious voice even with the doors closed. Janice has a flat. Want to go back to sleep until Julian's helped her? I was gonna say TJ is not gonna take a fucking sleeping for an answer, you know? He's gonna be like, nah, I gotta help. I sigh as he leaves, pushing myself across the seat to jump out as well. Chase and Tobias too? She turns her psychotic grin on us. Yeah, we were having a night out. Anyway, do you need any help? Well, you know, Julian, I actually do. I don't have any own jack. Been missing for the past 15 years. Huh. Julian smiles back warmly. Well, I've got one. Do you have a spare? Yep, in the back. Hope it's not flat too. Haven't had to use that thing in a while. We'll go ahead, pop the trunk, and we'll see what we've got. I'll go get my jack. Julian jogs back to the truck while TJ and I stand behind Janice's car. Sadly, that's when the old coyote turns her attention on us. Well, how are you two doing this evening? I'm doing well, thanks. I want to thank you again for doing all that yard work during your vacation. Seems I'm always out here just needing help. Oh, it's no problem at all, ma'am. I'm happy to let TJ do the talking. Just wanted to get this all over with as soon as possible so that we can head back to the motel. I squint as Julian's headlights come back on and he hops out of his truck. Just want to give us a little more light. Janice pops the trunk and lifts it up, revealing a cluttered mess inside. She brushes it all aside and lifts up the flap, revealing an old rusty spare tire. She nudges at it, testing the air pressure before lifting it out. Well, it's a little deflated, but it should be enough to get me to Duke's house. I know he's got a few tires I can probably use. If not, I'll just get him to drive out and buy me one. Julian kneels down to next to Janice's car, setting up the jack. We stand there in silence for a bit, watching the stag as he works. Speaking of your vacation, it wasn't really a vacation for you, was it, Chase? My heart sinks a bit as a dumb Yodi turns her attention directly on me. Hmm? I grunt politely in question, keeping my gaze on Julian to show Janice that I'm definitely not interested in what she has to say. Well, that grumpy lizard Flynn was telling me about in the diner a few days back. Something about you wanting to document the spooky stuff in town. Ah. I try to think of a way to keep things uninteresting so she doesn't ask any more questions. Sort of. Mainly just wanted to find some information on a murder that happened like 100 years ago. Couldn't find much about, you know? Oh, Flynn made it sound more like one of those ghost documentaries that I like to watch sometimes. I had a few stories for you. I keep my eyes firmly on Julian's paws as he starts to crank the jack. Then TJ nudges me. Hey, are there any rules against it being a ghost documentary? I sigh, though I try to keep it quiet for TJ's sake. Well, it's more of a news piece, so a ghost story wouldn't really work, I don't think. Actually, I've seen segments on the news about Yeah, I was about to say, what the fuck does it mean? News fucking add in buzz shit, entertainment or ghosts or paranormal, especially on Halloween. I don't know if they're serious, but when someone catches something on camera, sometimes they'll play it. I shrug. Well, even if that is the case, Chase is on the case. It probably won't get me a very good grade. It's better than no grade at all, Chase. TJ smiles encouragingly at me and I can't help but smile back. He always has a way of cheering me up, no matter how bad of a mood I'm in. That's the spirit. Besides, could just be about the history of it rather than making it seem real, even if it is real. I sigh again. I don't give a fuck about his coyote. Janice either doesn't notice or doesn't care. So, Sugar, would you like to hear them? Yeah, let me grab my notepad real quick. I walk over to Julian's truck, listening to Janice as she babbles excitedly to TJ about how scary it is. I try to unzip the bag, but the ledge of the truck bed is too tall, so I have to grab the whole fucking thing and trudge it back over to the car. This man just doesn't like... He's just losing it. He's off his fucking rocker, matey. I don't getcha. I unzip the side pocket and pull out my notepad and pen, and then I said, yeah, he's not interested in this shit. The coyote sits on the ledge of the trunk, making the car shift. Julian pauses, eyes wide as I'm sure he thought the sedan was about to topple off of the jack. Well, let's see. I can start with what my grandpa told me. Yeah, that works. Actually, that's great, because this happened right here in this very woods. Janice gestures off to the side of the road at the trees. So my grandpa was taking a walk in there with my grandma in, I want to say, sometime in the 40s. Right after they were married. They were walking along one of the little trails in there. And as they were, they started hearing this strange sound in the trees. Like something scuttling up and down the branches. They kept looking but couldn't see anything. TJ hugs himself and rubs his arms with his paws. Wow, that's creepy. Oh, that ain't the half of it, Tobias. The thing is, as they kept walking, those sounds followed them, and then... Janice lowers her voice, and despite my annoyance, I have to draw in a bit closer to hear her next words. I started to hear it talk. Hear what talk? TJ is fully drawn in by Janice's theatrics, and I have to struggle not to roll my eyes. Well, whatever it was, it started talking down to them. Janice pauses and glances at me, and I make sure not to give her anything, staring glassy-eyed at my notepad. What did it say? Well, just strange things, like, you're here, and I see you. Though my grandpa said he wasn't even sure he was talking to them, really. He said that when it started to just laugh, that's when he and grandma started running. Even then, it followed them. He said it sounded like it was rising in the air and landing from tree to tree, following them until they got out. That's actually fucking creepy. At this point, TJ is just frowning and I have to force myself to jot down the stupid note. This guy... You know what? I hope Chase fucking fails in whatever he's trying to do, even his course. He's a real piece of work, I'll say. Well, what was it? Janice shrugs. Do you know? Grandpa only told me the story once when he wouldn't go on a family walk in the forest. I asked him why and he told me. Asked Grandma too, but she just pretended she couldn't hear me. Thing is, my grandpa's not a liar. That I can promise you. I scribbled in the notepad pretending to write this all down. Oh, he also said it sounded mechanical, kinda like it was coming through a machine or computer. That's weird because he didn't really have those back then. A moment of silence goes by as I wait for Janice to go on. When she doesn't, I look up. So, that's it? Oh yeah, did you think they'd actually see something? I shrug. Anything else? Janice thinks. Well, there's this bear up the road named Brian. One time he told me a story about seeing some aliens around here, UFOs and such. This time I can't. This is like that Skinwalker Ranch kind of scenario, except it's a whole fucking town. Echo, the town of Echo. This time I can't stop my eyes from rolling, but again, Janice either doesn't see or ignores it. Said back when he was a teenager, he saw a flying saucer as it was passing by the lake. I don't even bother to move my pen, but Janice just keeps going. You know, I was listening to this podcast a while back. You know those radio shows on the internet? Oh yeah, I love listening to those when I work out. Well, there's this paranormal one I listen to that really goes in depth on this kind of stuff. And you know, we've all heard the story about gold in a quartz deposit. Yep. Well, Janice lowers her voice, leaning in like she's discovered the best kept secret in the entire world. In the podcast, they were going on about how places with lots of quartz ends up being more haunted. You know why? Is that actually true? I gotta search that one up. I don't say anything, so TJ chimes in. Why? Well, the quartz captures stuff from the past, like really emotional, angry stuff, and sometimes when the things line up just right, they play it back. So it reflects or echoes back these, like, strong emotions. Only when they do, it's all twisted up and mixed with other stuff, makes what you see really awful and horrible looking. But you know, Janice pauses again. What? I think there's more to it than that. I think there's something with a conscious mind behind it all here in Echo. I finally have to break in. Has anything happened to you specifically? You know, it's better if I have something straight from the source rather than secondhand. Janice finally goes quiet, then eyes flicking down to look at the ground. Julian Julius, meanwhile, has pulled off the tire and is fitting the spare in place. Well, maybe. I grit my teeth. What do you mean? Janice lets out a soft, mirthless chuckle. Let's just say I've seen things I promised not to tell anyone about, Chase. I can't tell if she's joking or not, so I just go along with it. Oh, you order a hit on someone? Maybe, Chase, maybe. TJ sends her a mortified expression on his face. I look down at my camera bag. Well, I think it might be good to get some footage of the trees in there while there's still a little light. If I'm gonna do the whole ghost story thing, then I better give it a horror movie vibe. Oh, well, that sounds wonderfully spooky. I start towards the tree line, then look back at TJ. You wanna come with? Oh. TJ looks back at Janice and Julian, the latter which is screwing in the tire. Go on, TJ, give him some company in there, especially after I told you all that story. Janice cackles, causing the car to shake again. Honestly, I'd be shitting my fucking pants every time the car shakes when you're walking on the tire. Listen. When you have jacks, right? A lot of people need two. You know why? I wouldn't trust one. Even when my life is on the line, you know? Like, you go under there, that fucking jack starts to squeak and fails, you're dead. You're dead. It's awful. Some people have to uses 2 or 3 jacks. Cthulhu, sorry. 2 jacks, jack stands, and one that you pump. You know, so it's like 3 different layers or supports. And if you find a rebar, no, a 2x4 and a couple of I know that's a lot of stuff. A couple of like hollow blocks. You're gonna need that just to have some extra support on that weight, okay? You actually don't want the car to just free fall on your face. Okay, besides, I don't mind keeping Julian company in the meantime. Okay. Julian grunts as he keeps his focus on the tire. Well, okay. With that, TJ and I cross the ditch into the forest, following the little trail that weaves through the trees. As the darkness of the forest engulfs us, I look back to TJ and see him timidly moving along, looking at the trees nervously. I grin. Are you scared? Chase is weird, man. I don't like him and TJ just alone in the forest. TJ looks over at me with a start. Oh, he lets out a soft laugh. Yeah, maybe a little bit. I pause, waiting for the lynx to catch up to me, then I hold out my paw to him. He stares at it for a moment as if not comprehending what it is. I stubbornly keep it outstretched. No one's gonna see. TJ seems to think for a moment. Then I see the lynx wipe his paw on his pants quickly before reaching out to take mine. I pull TJ along through the forest, glancing up occasionally to see if I can find a patch of sky sufficient enough for the shot I want. Don't worry, man. You know I saw something in here too. What? Oh no. TJ's busy looking off into the trees, his ears perked listening. Yup, when I was a kid, I thought I saw a fox hanging from the trees. Oh my god, please don't tell me this right now. I frown. Listen, but I realize that sometimes people hallucinate things. I'd rather just not talk about it right now. All I'm saying is that the stories that Janice told us aren't real, and even if they are, those people hallucinated. That's it. Well, sure, but that doesn't mean I won't still freak out if I do see— Yeah, exactly. Hallucination or not, if you hallucinated something spooky, I'd still fucking run the other way. I squeeze the lynx's paw in mine, shaking it around a little. Would have got me if that happens. Heh. TJ squeezes back. There's a slight resistance in his grasp though, as if he's trying to pull back from me while at the same time holding on to me. Chase, have you been feeling alright? I feel fine. I stop on the path, looking up at the little patch of dusty sky above me. Almost spherical and perfect for the shot that I'm gonna get. Because you seem a little bit off, especially when we were at the family plex. And I know we've all been a little off since what happened. I mean, I was feeling really weird the past few days. I set the bag on the path, unzipping the main compartment and pulling out the camera. Maybe you're feeling the same way that I was. I shrugged, turning the camera on. I feel fine, Tej. TJ suddenly placed upon my arm and that gives me pause. Chase? Are you sure? He's looking me directly in the eye, his paw pads warming the fur and skin under them, chasing away the chill of the evening. It's his wide blue eyes that catch my attention though. They're sincere, kind, and full of love. I think it's more so an unconditional friendly love than that kind of love, you know what I'm saying? It's then that I realize what TJ's trying to tell me. After all this time we spent together over the week, getting to know each other better, talking about our future plans, it's only now that I realize. I stand up straight, facing the lynx more directly, a soft smile on my lips. TJ looks up at me, eyes looking over my face as if searching for something. Whoa. Am I reading this fucking correctly, Mart? So you fucking kissed him. With the whole thing, I lean in and kiss him, a big fucking smooch. Oh my god. What a freak! It lasts a moment. This friendship relationship, it's over. It's absolutely over. Our lips meet, mine on his for the first time. It's a moment of pure bliss, and I close my eyes to show the lynx just how passionate I am about it. I feel his lips freeze up against mine, then suddenly they're gone. I open my eyes in time to see TJ stumbling backwards. One paw flies up to his mouth as the other stretches out behind himself as if word is going to run into the trees. I guess everyone would be surprised. I smile and follow the cat, reaching out my paws. You alright? As I reach for him, he pushes my paws away. I frown. What? What was that? TJ's whispering, but it's a loud sort of whisper, almost deafening the quiet forest. What do you mean? I kissed you, TJ. I love you. That's... Oh my god, he's so cooked. He kissed him. He mother effing kissed him. It's over. Who does this? Who does this? I get it. If you swing that way, you might get touchy. Maybe it's a peck on the cheek. Alright. But lips? Mouth to mouth? Wait a minute. The look of pure shock and horror on TJ's face stuns me. What? What are you talking about? TJ, you're asking really dumb questions right now. You heard me. I feel myself getting a little irritated. I just bared my soul to him and now he's acting like I just told him a terrible secret. But you mean like a friend, right? No, I mean like a boyfriend, a lover. Alright. How to ruin a relationship? Listen, if you actually have a crush on someone and they know about it, you know about it, It's a one-sided thing. You can still save the relationship as a friend if you don't do anything. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? But if you do something, like drastic, it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be awkward. I reach out again, but this time TJ twists away from me and then starts to back up. Back the way we came from. I follow him. How come? I can see his rapid breathing, his wide eyes like a cornered animal. I feel myself get angrier. What do you mean, how come? Do I need to explain to you? I'm gay! TJ keeps backing up and I see what looks like fear in his eyes. I don't understand it at all. He starts to turn around, but I grab his arm. Hey! You flirt with me all fucking week and you're asking why? What the fuck are you talking about? Chase? Let me go. He tries to pull away weakly, but I yank him forward so hard his teeth clack together in front of my face. He gasped. You make eyes at me across the table at the diner while we're doing yard work at Janice's house and you don't get why? Why the hell am I getting so angry? That's a good question. Why are you getting angry, my man? He should be angry. Let me go! TJ's still whispering, but it's getting louder. So you were just leading me on? I feel my voice break as it rises in volume as well. What is happening? Why am I doing this? Is this a dream? Where are you leading me the fuck on, TJ? I see tears brimming in TJ's eyes and he looks away from me like a kid that just got caught doing something wrong. Do I need to tell you again? TJ, I fucking love you. I've known it since I picked you up from the college. Listen to me. I pull him closer, but as I do, he lashes out. I see a flash of light and the next thing I know, TJ's escaped my grasp. My paw is still stuck out in the air as I watch the lynx disappear through the trees. Soon the sounds of his footsteps fade as well, and I'm left alone in the deathly quiet forest. I stare for a long time, listening to the nothingness, maybe waiting for TJ to come back, or for Julian to come up the path to beat me up. But nothing happens. I don't know how long I stand there, but then when I look up, I see that the sun has finally set. I numbly lift the camera in my other hand, still holding it like I was when I kissed TJ. Slowly, I walked over to the bag and kneeled down, putting the camera away. That's when I feel the nape of my neck prickle. TJ? I look back hopefully, but the path is empty. The forest, though. The trees and branches and leaves that outline the path just before it curves out of sight, just 15 feet ahead of me. There's a shape in the trees, the shape of legs, arms, a torso, and maybe a head. The shadowy figure seems to blend in the leaves, almost melting to the twilight. I blink hard, but when I open my eyes, the figure is still there, unmoving, unchanged. That's when I realize that even though I'm holding my breath, I can still hear breathing. It comes from the direction of the shape, even though it doesn't move at all. It looks like a painting. Slowly, I stand up. It doesn't move. I start to walk forward. That's finally when it changes. It starts to melt back into the trees, but the branches and leaves don't move. It moves through them. That's real fucking creepy, mate. I'd book it. I'd run. Then as I reach the bend in the path, it fades into nothing. But the breathing continues. I look around finally and see that it's getting dark to the point that I can hardly make anything out. Everything that you see is twisted from what it once was. But what is it? It was something once, just like I was, but nothing here is obligated to make sense to you. But what does it want? What does anything here want? The only thing you know for sure is that it's evil. And just like that, I'm running up the rest of the path, feeling as if the branches are clawing at me, trying to pull me back into the forest. And still, the breathing continues just over my shoulder, growing ragged with my own, following me, chasing me. I feel it closing in on me, gasping, taking on a robotic tone, as if someone's taking their last breaths through a phone. And I'm the only one on the other end listening to it. The crackling breath hisses out, then rises up into a screech of static and noise, and I break through the forest, or the trees, landing in the ditch and jamming 2 fingers in the process as I throw my paws out to catch myself. I don't care though. I scramble out of the ditch, gasping for breath. I look up, hoping to see TJ, Julian, even Janice, but no one's there. Both cars are gone. I'm left alone on the road, in the silence and increasing darkness. He walked back to the motel, huh? Yup. Deserve. Absolutely deserve, man. I hope to see Julian's truck in the parking lot when I get there, but it isn't. Instead, there's a typical 2 or 3 cars along with my own. I still have hope as I make my way to the door. Maybe TJ will be in the bathroom, taking a shower. Nah, if I was TJ, I'm long gone. Maybe he'll already be asleep. That's me. Maybe he'll be awake and we can just forget what happened. Chat until it's late, order a pizza like we did at Carl's house. But as I press the keycard to the lock, and it flashes green, and I open the door, I don't see TJ at all. It's dark and empty. And that's finally when I realize that TJ's left me as well. My mind is blank as I walk through the motel room, only then realizing that I left the camera in the forest. I don't care though, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters anymore. I curl up on the bed and cry for a long time. I don't care how loud I am. I'm sure if anyone here hears it, I've heard worse. The employee at the front desk probably hears it every week because that's just the way this town is. I fall asleep. I wouldn't be sleeping because I'd be getting the fuck out of this town. When I wake up, I can't move. I don't care though, it doesn't matter anymore. Even though I know better, I open my eyes. Weirdly enough, the motel is as I left it, disheveled with the lights on. Nothing horrible at all. Until I hear footsteps at the base of my bed. I brace myself for it, but I keep my eyes open. Alright, this is absolutely fucking creeping me. For those who don't know, I'm gonna change the music because it's copyrighted, but it's creepy fucking music, mate. It's giving me the shiver my timbers. I don't know why. I guess it feels like I'm punishing myself for what I did to TJ. I lay there on my side, curled up, and waiting as the footsteps make their way around the bed. I don't know what I expect my mind to conjure up. Maybe the demon in the forest, the evil, electric creature that breathed into my ear as I ran from it, jumping from tree to tree behind me. But what I didn't expect to see is a small, old Kid Fox in a button-up shirt and tie. I watch as he sets a card down at the little table next to my bed. I get a moment to see a silver ring on his finger and the worn black claws. Then he picks up a bottle from the table that isn't there and takes a swig from it. Then he moves over to the closet rod, clothes that I don't recognize hanging from it. He's got a cord of some kind in his paws. He starts to tie it up on the rod while the other end gets tied around his neck. I know what he's doing. And now I try to close my eyes, but something seems to hold them open. This is too real. The fox braces himself against the wall and I see his face clearly. Kind, weary, hopeless. And then he sits. But it doesn't completely sit because the cord pulls taut and he's left with his legs at a loose slant on the ground. I see his eyes bulge, turning red. At the same time, those eyes meet mine, and I think he sees me. I gasp and sit up in the bed, but he doesn't disappear. He lingers. It's only when he starts to go into convulsions that he begins to fade away. I hug my knees, my back pressed against the headboards of the bed as the fox continues to stare at me. Then, completely disappears. It was real. It was real. Was. Something's different. Something's wrong in the air. A sound from the bathroom makes me look over at the closed door. Something's in there. Automatically, I get up. It's like I'm not in control of my body anymore. It's like I'm still in a dream, even though I know I'm not. I get to the door and stand there a little while, listening to the breathing inside. And then I'm cutting this video right now. I'm recording this at midnight right now. I think it's like 12 p.m. 30? 12:30 a.m. actually, not p.m. Sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna see you in the next episode. This shit's getting weird, freaky. I'm liking it. See ya. Good luck. Hopefully you don't get nightmares. Bye.